What's up, everybody? Welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel at Inside the Game Official, Rad TV, where we are live 24/7. You can join us over on other TV streaming platforms around the globe like Amazon Prime, Roku, Jinx Esports TV, ESTV, and a whole lot more. But maybe you don't want the visual side, you want to see us in your eardrums, or I guess maybe hear us in your eardrums, then go to Fired Up Network. We're across 212 platforms over there, just like Spotify, SoundCloud, and all those stations. Scott, we do have a couple things to talk about today. What's on the dock?
We do. Starfield turns out to have been Game Pass's biggest hit. Who saw that coming? Media Molecule, unfortunately, has suffered some layoffs. A new PlayStation PS5 disc drive needs an online connection. Curious. And a Mortal Kombat 1 patch is coming.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But first up, Starfield. How big was it? Let's talk. Scott, topic number one. Shouldn't come as a big surprise. Microsoft says Starfield's release was Game Pass's biggest ever new subs day. Jordan Miller over VGC. Starfield generated the highest single day ad of Game Pass subscribers in the history of the service, Microsoft has claimed. The news was shared during Microsoft's latest earnings call for the Q1 period, covering July to September, which includes the release of the much anticipated RPG. Quote, "We released Starfield this quarter to broad acclaim," end quote. CEO Satya Nadella said during the earnings call, quote, "More than 11 million people have played the game to date. Nearly half of hours played have been on PC, and on launch day, we set a record for the most Game Pass subscriptions added on a single day ever," end quote. Starfield was the best-selling game in the US in September. The game was available day one on Xbox Game Pass, incentivizing users to sign up for the subscription service. In addition to the full-price version of the game, many players have also purchased the Deluxe Edition upgrade to Starfield, which allowed them to play the game a few days early before it entered Xbox Game Pass.
That has begun. That's begun the latest series trend, I think.
Dude, I don't like it.
Ever.
I don't like that trend at all. But we'll finish off the article, then we'll dive back into that topic because that's an interesting little tidbit. I forgot about that because now it's now October and that was last month. So that's how my memory works. According to Microsoft, Starfield was primarily responsible for growth in Xbox Game Pass and first-party content, which saw its revenue grow 9%. Microsoft's gaming business enjoyed a record July to September quarter in terms of revenue generated, partly driven by the release of Starfield. The Xbox parent company said it generated over $3.9 billion for gaming, which is its highest ever Q1 report for the brand and a record for a non-holiday quarter. Microsoft said revenue for Xbox content and services, which is by far the division's biggest money generator, was up 13% year over year, driven by growth in Xbox Game Pass. The Xbox maker finally completed the $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard earlier this month. Dude, if anybody thinks video games are small, they might want to rethink that statement.
Oh, exactly. That's funny because I remember being a kid and there was a realization, this is a bigger industry than movies now. And I thought that was funny. Yeah. But isn't it incredible how this is a best-selling game in the US, and that's also in addition to being a ginormous Game Pass generator. So it seems that putting your game on Game Pass does not necessarily mean it won't sell. Kind of a silly idea, although it makes sense. A lot of people jumped in on Game Pass side to get it early, so I can see the little incentive there.
So it is an interesting little business model now we're starting to see when it comes to the access of Game Pass, right? Here's Starfield, you can get it on release day, or upgrade, purchase, right? What was it? It was like $33, $40.
Yeah, I think it was 40 after tax, something.
Yeah, for an extra 3 days early. Now I get it. If you're hyped and you want it as quick as possible, I understand that, dude. I'm just as big of a gamer as anybody around, right? And I want, if I can have it tomorrow, I want it tomorrow. I don't want to wait 3 days, right? I get that too. But you gotta be careful of what else do you get. Can you not just hold off when it comes for free? I guess it's not really free when you're paying for Game Pass, but it's already part of the subscription. But on top of that subscription, you're going to pay an extra $40? Dude, what a move by Microsoft and Bethesda to go, hey, people are going to want this even more than just waiting for day one. Let's incentivize them a little bit. Tell them you can have it 3 days early and charge them another $40. Blows my mind. I'm a little nervous moving forward, Scott. Is this going to become the trend?
I think it will. They found a way to make have their cake and eat it too. They can sell you the game and put it on Game Pass, keeping you in the ecosystem. It is effective, and I think we'll see it continue because of that effective.
Call of Duty, dude. Call of Duty. Where do you play Call of Duty first now? Right? This is going to be a big.
Can you do that?
Move. I don't know. I bet you can. There's got to be some stipulation in there now with the deal with Activision Blizzard going, hey, here you go. Day one. It'll be everywhere. You can get it on Game Pass. But if you want to pay us $40 extra, you can have it before everybody over here on Game Pass, right? What a move. This could be a trend-setting move going forward for Xbox, but it definitely has me a little concerned and definitely terrified moving forward. Now, getting back into the world of Starfield, obviously, congrats and hats off to Bethesda and the team over there who've worked tirelessly to create this game. People are still playing it, but Scott, dude, I just mentioned this to you the other day. We were talking offline. I'm going, have you heard much of anybody playing Starfield still? Like, is it just fallen off everybody's radar?
I see a huge amount of people posting little clips here and there, but it seems to be a lot of outrage farming because people still get incredibly angry about Starfield, seemingly if you're not playing it.
Yeah, which is fair. I have to jump back in still. I've just been so busy on other reviews and things like that. I haven't been able to get back to it. Man, I'm wrapping up a lot of stuff, so I'm like, okay, my wheelhouse is starting to open up a bit. Maybe I can now dive back in, but then I say that and I picked up 2 reviews yesterday. I don't know. We'll see.
I say all that, and then Metal Gear Solid Master Collection comes out. Volume 1. Well,
you picked it up, right?
Weekend.
Yeah, which is cool. But I definitely want to get back into the world of Starfield. I need to finish that story. As I said, last I wrapped up, I'm 80 hours in. So,
holy. I'm less than 8 hours in, so I'm behind in a whole different regard. I'm so far behind you.
You are so far behind. But Starfield,
that's how it works sometimes with these giant releases, though. Unfortunately, we can never stop. We have to keep moving.
Yes, right. It's the days of you buy one game and play that for 6 months are long gone. We're always on something new each and every week. But the fact that I was able to put in 80 hours is kind of shocking altogether. But I want it. That's one of those things I want to go back. Dude, when I take a look at the list of games I've completed this year, it is like check.
Impressive.
It's we'll be talking about a game of the year discussion here coming up in the near future. I want to say give us about a month or so, and then we'll have that. And I'm looking forward to that discussion, our top 10 games or something around there. We're still kind of figuring that out on our side here. But there's going to be so much to talk about between the 4 of us. The amount of games we've played this year and what everybody's kind of thoughts are. From the worst game to the best game. It's going to be an interesting year regardless. And with the Video Game Awards just around the corner, man, I'm curious to see what that list looks like for them too. With Starfield, you think it's going to make it on the list of Game of the Year nominees?
Oh, absolutely. It's certainly nominated.
Yeah.
But I'm not certain whether I think it'll win. The Game of the Year discussion is so hot this year. I really hesitate to place any sort of bet on the idea.
This year has been one of the best years of gaming. Are you nervous for next year then? Like, will Xbox have another Starfield for next year?
I don't think it's going to live up to this year for several years to come now. I think we have to be in some sort of a lull now. Ooh. Because of all of the layoffs and other kind of industry trends. I think we are arming up for a slow period, but we'll have to see.
Time will tell.
Can't be as good as this year every year. That's incredible.
Man, can you imagine? Oh boy, that'd be fun. Scott, you were just talking about all the layoffs this year, and the trend continues. Media Molecule to reduce workforce. The Dreams and Little Big Planet developers reportedly looking to reduce staff from 135 to 115. Jeffrey Russo over GamesIndustry.biz. Dreams and the Little Big Planet maker Media Molecule is reportedly looking to cut nearly 20 staff from the studio, according to the report by Sports Illustrated. What? Sports Illustrated is in this discussion since when? Employees.
Interesting.
That's a weird take. Employees were informed about the layoffs via an internal meeting today. Sources told the publication that the studio is looking to get its current headcount of 135 employees down to about 115. GamesIndustry.biz has reached out to Media Molecule for more information. The job cuts come months after Media Molecules opened Dreams Creations to commercial use. Earlier in the year, the studio has announced that it would end live service support for Dreams as it moves on to a new project. It's the fourth Sony-owned studio to experience layoffs in recent months, with Pixel shut down in May. Dude, that one hurt. That one hurt a lot. I love Pixel, such a creative studio. Naughty Dog laying off dozens of contractors earlier this month, and support studio Visual Arts affected by redundancy just yesterday. Man, Media Molecule released a statement confirming its job cuts on social media. The studio said, quote, Media Molecule has made significant strategic changes during the past year, including shifting our focus from Dreams to our new project. We have had to make the difficult decision to being the constellation process for team members within certain departments of the studio. This is a tough moment for the individuals impacted and the studio overall, end quote. Scott, dude, more. It is a significantly lower number than we've seen from other studios, but it's still affecting those, right? It's still affecting people, and that's the biggest takeaway. Whether it's one employee, 20 employees, or thousands, it still sucks at the end of the day to have to say to somebody, I'm sorry, we have to let you go right now. And it's just, we talk about just the first topic of how well we've had an incredible year, but on the other scope of this, dude, is the amount of layoffs we've seen. The developer side of it has been one of the worst years around.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a weird and sad double standard happening here of everybody's got 1,000,001 things to play, but it's almost too much, and you can't buy everything. So we're seeing everything kind of react to that. Well, coming out of the whole world put on pause for a couple of years, and now we're coming back. That's still in effect. Yeah. And unfortunately, we're going to be talking about that until the day we leave the planet, but
it's going to be one of those things, right? And you kind of wonder, in the back of my mind at least anyways, if COVID never happened, what would the string of game releases have been? Because of COVID, right? It put a lot of delays into place. When COVID hit, it was like game delay, game delay, game delay. We've had to restructure. We've had to move everybody home. Game delay, game delay, game delay. So like last year wasn't a bad year, but it was a little bit quieter. The year before that, right? And then all of a sudden this year, boom, here's everything. And then now it's like, okay, now that everything's out, people are getting cut left, right, and center. The games industry used to be, the model was the standard. They'd all start the game, they ramp up the studio, and then they cut people off. And that was starting to change until this year, man. Like this year seems to be like everybody's letting somebody go. And just, man, hearts go out to everybody over Media Molecule. It sucks. I think there's such a unique studio in our industry space that we need them, right? Losing Pixel was heartbreaking. Another creative outlet that is just gone, right? We get regardless, Call of Duty is Call of Duty every year to me, where Media Molecule, I feel, makes something unique and different every time, right? From Little Big Planet to Dreams, where we are now. It's always some kind of creative outlet, but I'm curious to see where they go now. What are they making next? And regardless of how they're able to get around on it, I didn't think Dreams connected enough with the amount of people to have that commercial success to keep everybody employed, unfortunately, right?
It is unfortunate because some of the more thoughtful games don't really make it. They don't get sold to everybody. It's not the same mass appeal. And that's sad because this really is a creative studio. Yeah,
very creative studio. So definitely curious to see what they're creating next. We'll keep you posted. It's got a weird movement by PlayStation as the new PS5's optional disc drive requires an internet connection. What?
Oh no, always online, getting worse.
I just don't get it. Jordan Midler over at VGC, the upcoming optional disc drive for the PlayStation 5 will require an internet connection to pair it to a console for the first time. Not so bad, not so bad, all right. Oh. As spotted on the back of the box of the upcoming Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 PS5 Slim Bundle, small print confirms the players who purchase the new model with the optional drive will require to connect to the internet when pairing to the machine for the first time. It's likely this is a security measure in order to ensure that the disk drive is a legitimate one and not a third party. However, it has raised some preservation concerns. Because the accessory will require an internet connection for verification, there will potentially come a time when the servers needed to verify the license will no longer be operational. Scott, bit of a weird maneuver, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever excited about having an online requirement. However, if it is really just for the first setup, then that is quite a lot more forgivable. You have to keep in mind, this is anti-piracy, likely has a lot to do with this.
It makes a ton of sense, right? Sony wants to make sure that they're covered, that they're not getting more or less, for worse terms, screwed over, right? It's kind of how it's coming around.
Do you remember the PlayStation 2 era? Everybody and their grandma had a stack of fake games.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't want to go back to that scenario, right? So I get it. Connect it once, you're done, and then hopefully you're good. But like Jordan says, though, right? If that server eventually is just gone, then what happens? I currently have a disk drive. I have one of the OG PS5s. It has a disk drive in it. But dude, I have yet to ever use it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I never use it. My Xbox has a drive in it. I never use it. Like it's just it's just there.
You know, I think about that. The last Xbox actual series game I think I put in there was Hitman 3. Other than that, it's 360 games that I'm loading into there. But that still presents. That's the preservation aspect of it.
Yes, which is
I do have an Xbox 360, of course, from 2 decades ago almost, but I don't want to keep that hardware around. If I could just kind of consolidate.
Dude, I'm just gonna put it on a shelf one day. I got my 360, I got my PS3. Don't believe I have.
I need a shelf like you.
Yeah, I do appreciate my shelf. I'm running out of space though, but I'm gonna build some more shelves. But either way, it's one of the. I love my collectors, right? I like the collector's editions and kind of having those characters and things I love about the game industry and preserving.
That's the exact reason I like having a shelf of games.
Yeah, well, which I get, but I just don't need the stack of them, right? Like it's just when I shed light on the PS2 back in the day, which I kind of regret selling my PS2 because, dude, that just is gone. I've had so many games for that system, and I sold them all off. It was just like for nothing. Like it was really at the end of the day, it was trying to help buy me my PS3 at the time, but it was just one of those things.
I did that with a GameCube.
Game preservation is a scary thing now when you look forward, right? Now, if you want to get into this PS5 optional disk drive, you connect it once, but what's the future look like moving forward? Again, right? I don't use a disk. So what does that mean? Everything's downloaded, but eventually we've seen some of these games over the years just vanish. PT, prime example, dude. You can't find PT anywhere at all, right? So right now, if it's on your, I believe it's PS4, then you're okay. I think
that might be PS3 back then.
PS3? Man, is it that old? Is it really? Oh,
I think so, yeah.
Ouch.
A friend of mine had one somewhere. It's collecting dust in a closet or something.
Well, that's just it, right? So I have my PS3. I actually think I downloaded it. Never played it, but I may have downloaded it. But either way.
That is so bizarre for you to have. Yeah, you're not a horror guy.
not at all, but I wanted to say I had that, right? Like, I got it. So, but either way, you got to connect your PS5 disk drive at least once. So keep an eye open for that if you're getting one. Scott, dude, I'm having a blast playing it. Mortal Kombat 1, and it has a new patch, but here's the problems. The new Mortal Kombat 1 patch makes big changes to gameplay. Here's Wesley Yinpool over at IGN. NetherRealm has released another patch for fighting game Mortal Kombat 1, and while the full patch notes are yet to be released, players have worked out the update makes significant changes to gameplay. That's right. Among the changes is a nerf to Cyrax, controversial, the horizontal chopper cameo assist. Basically, he just like puts his arms out and goes and spins in a circle like a copter. Yeah,
the good old Diablo spin to win.
It is, dude. It's used a lot, like an absolute ton. It helps continue your combo, right? So you're into it, and your bread and butter combo is just moving, and then all of a sudden you pull in Cyrax, and he flips up. And then you juggle through the air, or if, after you're done juggling through the air, you call him in so it keeps him in the air. Oh man, there's a lot of things to move with this whole cameo system. It's been quite the thing, but they were about to. It has dominated the meta, but it's about to change things. This move now costs a full bar, which significantly reduces how often it can be used, so it can't be cheesed. It's like toasty.
You're not spamming it anymore,
right? Yeah. Other changes include tagging moves, which should make training. Okay, this is one of my gripes right from the get-go. I went into the practice mode, And in previous Mortal Kombat games, you can go in and you could like tag in certain combos and stuff so you can practice and figure out what to do, right?
Oh, show them up on screen, you mean? Like,
Exactly,
okay.
right? So all of a sudden now they're over the one side of the screen. You can see which ones you're working on, which ones you're practicing with, and pick which ones you want to use. They didn't have that at launch. This is now implemented that back in. I was in it last night. I'm like, oh man, it's nice to have these here because I'm trying to learn a bunch of characters all at once. Don't really advise that.
Yeah, you've been Scorpion for 30 years. Time to try
yeah,
somebody else
exactly.
out.
Well, it's funny because Garrus has been my go-to this year. I love Garrus. I think he's got some cool, sweet moves, and Katana. But I'm telling you, Reptile's kind of creeping in, and Scorpion's coming back. Don't think I'm gonna let Scorpion go, but it is gonna be there as well. Here's some of the other bigger changes, though. Right? Other changes include tagging moves, which should make training or labbing, as fighting game community calls it, easier. Elsewhere, Baraka has seen a big nerf to damage, and a Halloween theme was added to Johnny Cage's mansion stage, which I saw was cool. We actually posted it on our Instagram and our Twitter page last night, so take a look at those if you haven't seen it yet. Mortal Kombat 1 players are still working out everything this patch does, which out now on consoles and weighs in around 8.5 gigs on PlayStation 5. I thought I downloaded a 13 gig last night or the day before.
Oh, you got a little extra on there.
Apparently. Here's the bigger problem. There's a Halloween fatality added to the premium store. Scott, people are blowing up about this. Now we're paying for extra fatalities. This is where the problem comes in, right? I understand NetherRealm needs to keep the servers on. They need to keep the lights on. They need to keep the studio going. I don't know if this is the way to do it, though, tagging in fatalities as a premium opportunity.
Oh, this kind of reminds me of the Callisto Protocol DLC that added more death animations to your character in it. Kind of felt silly paying for that.
Yeah. So players have also picked up on the mention of a sale of a fatality in Mortal Kombat 1. This doesn't appear to be live yet, but has already sparked a ferocious debate about Mortal Kombat 1 already controversial monetization option. Dude, this monetized right out the wazoo. Like, it is just, there's a lot going on under here when it comes to paying for this and paying for that and paying. I'm just playing the game for the most part, and I'm working through my season, and I'm having a blast. But yeah, there's definitely opportunities there that feel, kind of reminds me a little bit of when EA did the Star Wars in the Battlefront back in the day. Kind of like, not to that level, but awfully close. And it's definitely raised some concerns.
The outcry was certainly enough to change the way things happen in that situation. Maybe this isn't too late. Maybe that goes to the normal store. So the premium store, we use in-game tokens for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. Time will tell. We'll keep you posted. Mortal Kombat 1, lots to talk about. Scott, our list is a little bit smaller than yesterday. There's just a couple games out today. What are we playing?
We have Citizens on Mars on PC. Stray Souls goes to PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X, and S. Postal Brain Damaged is now on PlayStation 4 and 5. It is coming to Xbox at some point now. Horror Tale 2 Samantha is now on Xbox, and it comes to Switch tomorrow.
Nice. Well, there you go. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest of gaming news each and every day. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.